So what can we learn from Joe Rogan's historic $100 million deal with Spotify? Hi everyone, it's Kevin from Solopreneur, and we're about to start a workout here, but wanted to make a really quick video talking about some of the things we can learn from this. And the major learning I think here is persistence and compounded effort. So looking at Joe Rogan's journey here, he started as a comedian in, I believe, 1988. He was maybe 20, 21 years old. Right after that, he was in TV. I think that was in the early 90s, maybe around 94, is doing TV shows. At this point, still making nothing, right? Having secondary jobs and whatnot to survive. Then him being a lifelong martial artist. He's very skilled in various arts, right? I mean, starting at Taekwondo and then, of course, moving on to Jiu-Jitsu and everything. But he started doing commentary for the UFC in 2001 when the UFC was like no rules, only in a couple of states, no money, obviously no money. So now we're at 2001, right? He starts then continues doing random TV shows, continuing doing comedy. Still, he's not a household name at this point, right? I mean, you saw Fear Factor and all of that, but, he's just getting by. And then, doing well, but, improving, but, certainly not millionaire status or anything like that. Starts the Joe Rogan podcast in 2009, I believe. And now in 2020, he scores that $100 million deal at age, 52? So if you look at that, say 20 to 52, that's a 32-year journey to make $100 million. So it wasn't like he made a podcast yesterday and then he made, $100 million overnight. This was a 32-year journey. And you can see, and if you watch his podcast, he has scientists, athletes, people, philosophers. He has society, experts in society. He has engineers, Elon Musk, basically every topic imaginable. He has experts, masters on his show talking about this. So the way he's been able to do that to a large degree is because of his extremely varied experiences. He had all sorts of TV shows. I remember Joe Rogan had a show, Joe Rogan Questions Everything, where he's kind of exploring like aliens and like all sorts of myths like Bigfoot, where he's just looking at, basically disproving or proving these various phenomena. But the point is, he's had a very, very varied career in a lot of different things. And that's what helped him create the Joe Rogan podcast. And I think that's what we can learn as entrepreneurs, right? I mean, there are the lucky few who maybe your first business you start or your first endeavor, you blow up. But the vast majority of us, it's going to be years and years of sustained effort and continuous learning, right? And as you get better, when if you're on your fifth business instead of your first, there are a lot of learnings you can apply, and even just the jobs you work and the things you learn in your other life, like everything compounds, right? So it's compounding and consistency. And then at one point it takes off because you have a breakthrough, because only you have those experiences, right? I can promise you and guarantee you that there's not a single person alive that has the exact combination of skills and experiences you have. No one. It's not possible, right? So I think it's to do with persistence. It's to do with continuous learning. It's thinking about all the experiences you've had. Even like, let's say you're working in a retail store, like that's not nothing. Like some people, you're asleep at the wheel most of the time. Don't be asleep at the wheel, right? I mean, all the experiences you go through, school, work, this, that, your personal experiences, even your hobbies. Let's say like Joe Rogan probably started out comedy. I don't know if when he started, he actually thought it could be a career. I don't think he would. Maybe he did, but like all of those experiences, that's obviously his comfort level on stage, as an example, obviously has helped him connect better with people. And when you're the host of a podcast, You need to know how to connect with people. He interviews people after fights in the UFC, does commentary. So you can see how all of these hard and soft skills have taken him to the point where he is now, right? He's a lifelong martial artist. That's probably how he got started with the UFC to begin with, right? Back when it was nothing. He had the awareness of martial arts and appreciation for it, right? So of course, with technology, he's been running this podcast for a long time. So he understands the opportunity with the internet 11 years ago, right? And now, of course, Spotify. So guys, bit of a ramble, but the point is, really think about all the experiences you've had and cherish them, because they can compound into something great. Maybe, you're just starting out in your journey, but don't think that you have to make it overnight, that, if you don't make it to be a millionaire in 1 year or 45 days, like some of these stupid people on, who create ads for videos like this, in front of videos like this, create, right? Like become a millionaire in 40 days, whatever it is. Guys, that's, just look at Joe Rogan's trajectory, right? I would say that out of that 30-year journey, he probably only started making significant money, like probably more than even a standard job, 10 years in, right? And then in terms of extremely successful, probably like 20 years in or something like that, right? But it wasn't 1 year in, 2 years in, 3 years in, and probably for the first 5 to 10 years, he was making nothing, and he probably considered quitting a few times. So that's it, guys. Just a quick video to say, hey, it's possible what Joe Rogan did, but the reason why Spotify is giving Joe Rogan $100 million is because there's nobody else like him, because he has such a unique combination of experiences. And you can very much be the same way. I'm not saying you can get a deal from Spotify from $100 million. Realistically, you probably can't. But what I mean is, whatever you start in your experiences, it will compound into something very unique, and you may be able to create a business that's very unique to you, that's not easily replicable. So that's it, guys. I don't know why I'm having difficulty saying that word, and I gotta work out. All right, guys, so we'll see you in the next one. Take care.